There are hedge fund managers making $1 million an hour. You know, it's crazy, right? It's money everywhere. It's money in everything. I want to help you. Start your business today. Come join my royal family. Subscribe to Casino Is the Name. Going on right now, you're watching Casino Is the Name, and in this video I wanted to talk to you guys about the advantages of getting an accounting degree, or the advantages of becoming an accountant. All right, so in case you don't know, I have a couple of degrees. I have a degree in associate's degree in healthcare management, and my bachelor's degree is in accounting. All right, and I have a lot of experience dealing with different types of industries or career paths. I spoke to a lot of people. As an accountant, I got a chance to speak to a lot of people about their personal situations, about their career aspirations, why they're choosing to go to school for whatever. And I found that most people have no real understanding of what that career that they're choosing will actually pay. It's interesting because, I mean, I was truly an accountant by nature, so I wanted to know how much money I was going to make or be able to make after school. I wasn't one of those people who was like, yo, I'm gonna go to school for basket weaving because I like to weave baskets. And because I went to school, I'm sure I'm gonna make money, more money than I was making before because I have a degree. Doesn't really work like that. Life is just not really like that. But I will say that I've noticed that a lot of people, they go to school for things because somebody might have told them it was a good thing to go to school for. But when I say, hey, well, you know, what on average does this pay? And they're like, well, I don't really know. And then I say, well, okay, for instance, I'm asking people, okay, well, you want to become a school teacher, right? And so you go get a degree in education. And it's like, okay, well, how much do teachers make? And they're like, no idea, really. I mean, I know some people who are teachers and they live in a decent house, and that's as far as they really go. And so it's like, okay, well, how much do you think you are going to make? And they say, maybe 40,000, 50,000. And if you're going to school for something and you're thinking that it's going to pretty much be 40, 50,000, that is not, I wouldn't consider that even a livable wage in today's world. You have to be in a very unique situation to be able to survive off of 40 or 50,000, especially if you're taking on student loans to get there, or if it even makes sense for you to go to school. To get a job that pays 40 or 50,000, that has to really be a passion play, right? Like, I don't understand why you go to school for 4 years to get a job that pays 40,000. Makes no sense to me. That's to me, but I am a numbers-driven person. And especially if you're taking on debt to do it, you have to be in a very unique situation where maybe you don't have mortgages or rent or, certain things in order to make that make sense, or be paired with somebody. Maybe you live with a family member or spouse or whatever in order to make those kind of things work. But and then you really should maybe have a passion. Maybe you just really want to be a school teacher. And I'm not saying school teachers only make $40,000 or $50,000. You can make more than that as a school teacher. I'm just saying that if you're going to do something like that, it needs to really, really be a passion play. And I personally, depending on what your situation is, I don't personally recommend people follow their passion unless their passion can pay them, a livable wage. That's just me. I've come from the bottom. So, maybe you're not coming from what I'm coming from. Maybe your situation was different from what mine was. So anyway, what are the advantages of getting an accounting degree? And the reason I'm even doing this video is because so many people have been coming to me saying they want more accounting videos like what I used to do. And so just wanted to make a few videos for you guys. And so the advantages of becoming or getting an accounting degree, number one would be, I don't want to say job flexibility. Well, yeah, that's too, but I mean, that's part of it. But job security, job security. People are afraid of their accounting stuff. People are afraid. They're business owners who got tens of millions of dollars and they don't want to touch their accounting stuff. They don't want to mess with it. They don't want to, they just want their accountant to tell them what they can spend. They don't want to know what's going on for real. They just want to live and not have that be an issue. They'd rather pay you well than to have to deal with that issue themselves. Because I'm an accountant, I'm not really sure why that makes sense, but I prefer to be pretty hands-on with my stuff. But I just know that this is a real situation, that people are really afraid of their own numbers. People are afraid of their own taxes. They're afraid of their own bookkeeping. They're afraid of. It's one thing to say, I just don't have. I don't maybe. A serious CEO and I don't want to keep track of all of that personally because I'm so busy with these other things. But that's not even what I'm referring to. I'm referring to the actual anxiety that people have when they think about it. And the numbers just sound jumbled up to them and they're just like, oh my God, just take it away. Just send me the invoice, bill me. How much is it going to cost for you to do this? Like, that's the kind of thing that let me know when I first decided to go to school for accounting, which I was never planning on doing tax. And I still haven't done tax for anybody outside of myself. And I don't really do my own taxes even, like, for the most part. But when I first decided I was going to go to school for accounting, I called one of my friends, hey, I'm thinking about going to school for accounting. They said, oh my God, can you do my taxes when you're done? Like, when you finish school, are you going to be doing my taxes? Because I don't want to do them. I had business before I even took the first accounting class, right? That's how I knew there was job security. And with all the fraud and things, so I specialized in audit when I went through. There's a lot of people not really sure about all the different avenues you can take with an accounting degree, but there's plenty of different roles that you can be in. They're not all the same. And so people always like, oh man, accounting is so boring. I have not had very many boring experiences myself. Accounting is what you make it. You can be an international accountant and travel the world. You can be an accountant for the stars and be in a club with LeBron and Lil Wayne or Drake. There's all sorts of different types of accountants and opportunities for accountants. It's crazy. And there's an increasing amount in the audit spectrum because of so much fraud that's going on. Who do you think needs to investigate the fraud? Us. It's so much going on. It's so much fraud going on. It's gonna be fraud cases for many, 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 many years. Like, it's so much that happened during, say, the pandemic and all of that. It's gonna be being tracked down for years and years, and then there's new fraud all the time. And there's just not enough of us. It's not even close to enough of us. So the opportunities are immense. And then you have the one of the parts of it is the ability to work from home. Almost every accounting position that I know of, unless maybe you work at a location where you have to be present because you have meetings or something like that. Maybe you're a CFO somewhere and you have to have meetings in some kind of corporate. Well, so I'm coming from the government accounting side, and almost all of the positions are for telework or remote or virtual because the job can be done that way, except for when, say, as an auditor, you may have to go on location and actually audit an agency, and you have to be in person for some of that. So, but most of everything else can be done at home. So it's very limited use of you having to go in depending on your role. I'd say most of the positions that I've seen or that I know of are telework or virtual positions. Very few actually require that I know for you to actually have to go in and be physically in person. So you have job flexibility, as far as teleworking and comfortability and being at home. You have a lot of, it is a respected degree. when I say respected, my sister's a lawyer, I'm an accountant, right? Now, let's say my sister's a lawyer and I don't even know. It's hard to even really say. Say my sister's a lawyer and I was a truck driver. In the professional circles that we're in, when people hear that I'm an accountant and my sister's a lawyer, they're like, oh man, your mom did great, you know? Now, it's not saying that, a truck driver couldn't make just as much money. It's just that in public perception of it is just more, I don't say prestigious, but it's just more respected in the circles that I would typically be in. Or when you speak to people, especially if you're meeting people and they say, oh, this is who this is, he does this, and they say, oh, what do you do? And then somebody's like, oh, he's an accountant. Then it's like everybody's like, oh, you're an accountant, like, and even other accountants come over and they're like, yo, you're an accountant too, man. There's not many of us, like, we need to link up, And so, just having that opportunity and that availability in just being in a smaller, in a skilled niche. It's a small niche, but it's highly skilled. It's skilled labor, right? Like, it's not something that the typical person would even know to do, you could do it. They could do it, right? Because even when you think about taxes don't necessarily have to be done by an accountant. I don't actually know very many accountants who actually do tax. As a matter of fact, I know some who maybe have a CPA firm or something like that, but most of the tax places like H&R Block are not. Most of those people aren't accountants. They're just tax preparers, and so that's one of those things that's like the misconception is that we're just all doing tax. No, we may be doing some other things, and you don't necessarily need to be an accountant to do taxes, but there are certain things and certain roles that are protected, and you have to have that accounting degree. Say if you're working for the government, there are certain roles that you cannot sit in an accountant position without having the credits and or degree and experience with either a 4-year degree, 4 years working in an accounting position, but also still needing to get the 24 accounting credits. So you can either have 4-year degree and have the 24 accounting credits, or you can have 4 years of experience working in an accounting section, not being an accountant, but working in an accounting section for over 4 years and still getting those 24 credit hours. And then they can consider you an accountant. But there are protected positions that you are not going to be able to sit in just because you're not legally protected under the accounting stuff. Like, you have to be an accountant to sit in certain roles. So you have that advantage of being able to come in and go straight to the top. Like, not necessarily like go directly to the top. Like your first day, you're a GS-13. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you get to come in and get in a position. If you know what you're doing, you can get in a position and go 9, 11, 12, 13. You can maybe in 4 years go from making $50,000 to $104,000 in 4 years, in a direct kind of like a career ladder. And then, of course, if you work for Big Four and stuff like that, then they have some whole other stuff and they have higher salaries and things like that. But you have all of that advantage at your disposal. And with an accounting degree, it is a STEM degree, right? So science, technology, engineering, and math. So with it being a STEM degree, it has a higher use case than a typical business degree, because an accounting degree is a business degree. Accounting is actually the language of business. People think it's like math, which I guess it's classified as math in the STEM section, but it's really a language, right? Accounting is the language of business. And so because it's a STEM and it's nationally recognized, or I think Congress or somebody just approved it to be recognized as STEM in colleges, it is recognized just a little bit higher. I mean, I guess you could say quite a bit higher, because there are positions that you have to have the degree to sit in, to be classified as an accountant. But let's say you had a business management degree or a business administration degree. It's still a business degree, and I had an accounting degree. There are roles that you cannot do that I can do, but there are no roles that you can do that I can't do. I can still manage and sit in a management position. I can still lead a team. I can still do all of those things. I still could project manage with an accounting degree, but you more than likely wouldn't be able to sit in an audit role or an accounting role unless you picked up the rest of those accounting credits. Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to come on here and tell you guys some of the advantages, including the money, right? The money is always good, right? I just did a video that talked about the average accountant salary, and it is 6 figures. The average federal average federal employee accountant salary is in the 6-figure range. It's over 100,000, 120-some thousand, whatever, and it's still going up. And that's the average. The highest paid is in the 200s, almost 300,000, and that is, of course, that's the highest paid. But you can still make a really, really good living with an accounting degree. Anyway, right now you're watching Casino Is the Name. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and we out. I was always focused on the money. I started with nothing. I was born to be an entrepreneur. I'm a real estate investor. Had my own trucking authority. Multiple college degrees. Ex-military. I'm an author. Motivational speaker. Not to mention I'm an accountant. But with all the things that I've done, it was government contracts that truly made me rich. There are hedge fund managers making $1 million an hour. It's crazy, right? It's money everywhere. It's money in everything. I want to help you. Start your business today. Come join my royal family. Subscribe to Casino Is the Name.